I often talk about not settling in life. That could be in love, it can be in career, every aspect of life. It's up to us to set the standard. Like, what is it we expect? What is it we demand for ourselves? Um, and the real problem is most people do end up settling, and it's just the way people are. And they will try to validate that by trying to really restrict you from being free to find your happiness. And that's literally what happens. And again, at all aspects of life, I share my journey. I've shared it through my books. I've shared it through so many videos. There are parts of my life where there are chaotic moments. There are moments when it looks like really I've lost the plot, because I do walk away from things. And it's when you walk away from the things that other people hold tight to, it makes me look unhinged. It looks like I don't really know what I'm doing. And I always say, just wait for the end result and you'll see it all make sense. And inevitably it does. I always have faith in my journey. Life can get hard for me. People see that. But yeah, it works out. And I think that's the thing. Life has to work out eventually because it just, you make momentum forward, results come. We got like either way, something changes, something happens along our journey. So even in career, if we go that way, like I've spoke recently about it, but we'll just refresh. I've been out of work for a long time, had a back issue. I focused on my books and, I've been getting really frustrated financially. I've been feeling really stifled. And I think, you know what, I just want money now. I want career to move forward. If I'm not going to see results from the videos I do, from the books I do, then I need money coming in from somewhere. I have a warehouse forklift background. And I'll just look in that way for now, just make some money. But also, I can't be everything, and that's a real problem. I do see one day me completely outgrowing that side of my life, but it's still a part of my life where I have experience and skills. I'm a fast learner, so, I can do well in the environments. And of course, it pays well. And of course, if you've got a stable income, any money I get from my books, anything I get from anywhere else, that's passive income. So that's supplements. So all of a sudden, you've got two income sources. That ain't a bad thing at all, is it? Especially when there's like overtime. So I recently got offered a job. It was I can't remember how many people applied, but I was literally only hiring one person. They chose me. I turned that job down in the end, but it paid well. Like, it paid me well enough that I wouldn't. I'm not saying it paid like fortunes, but it was enough for my bills. It was about, I think, take home was about £2,000 a month. For me, that was enough because when I work out my bills, um, it was good. So I had literally a situation where my bills would have been covered, but also I could end up with some spare money too, where you can save, you can go on holidays, all sorts of things. And I risked that by turning the opportunity down, knowing that there was no guarantee what comes next. I had a couple of other opportunities lined up, but it wasn't guaranteed you'd get offered them. There's risks. But the way my mind works is if something's going to make me miserable, money's not going to make me happy. And it's just the way it is. Money isn't going to solve it because, like, especially when it comes to work, if you wake up in the morning and you're dreading the day ahead, that is a really, really heavy place to start the day. And it doesn't matter what someone offers you because you still have to persevere through it. So even if the end of the week or the end of the month you get paid well, that's a lot of torment just to get some money. I can't personally put myself through hell like that to get it. I'd rather be poor and have my my mental well-being taken care of. So I knew that job was going to be a bit much for me, to be honest. It wasn't going to make me happy. There was too many issues with it. It was a small company that didn't really know what it was doing, and there was a lot of issues it was going to have to work through, and I just didn't have the energy for that. So this other job's worked out great. Now I haven't started. I start on Monday, but I'm very, very positive about it, and I'm eager, which is a nice place to start, I think, rather than feeling heavy. And I'm hoping that once it commences and I'm settled, I'm hoping that when I wake up in the morning, it's not a heavy feeling. It's more like, oh, I get to go to work. I get to go and enjoy myself. A challenge ahead. That's great. So I had to have a forklift test, even though I've already got a forklift license. I passed the test. We had the theory, passed the theory, had a medical, passed the medical. It's for a big company, engineering company, but it's a great opportunity. They're going to train me on different things in the logistics side. I don't expect to be building engines, but everything needs to be like the areas need to be fed the materials, things need to be moved around. So I was told you're not just going to be using the forklift because we only have so much demand for that. But we've got some other things we want to train you on, so you become efficient at that, and then it'll be rotated between you got like the team. And I thought that's great. I like that. The other positive of that is with this job is that you, for the things you get trained at with the development, your money goes up. So the more skills you have, the higher your wages. That's a nice feeling, isn't it? Now, haven't started yet. My hope is it goes well. Let's hope it does. I have a good feeling about it. Now, I've always said this. So these are the little things I talk about that I've always said that I like in jobs, and they're not always a given. And of course, you can't just quit jobs just because something doesn't have something specific. But these are just the little tick boxes along the way. I hate little small tea break rooms. I think they're tacky, they're boring, they're overcrowded, there's nothing going on. I like it when there's like an area where there's like a cafe, a restaurant, somewhere where they serve you food. And I've been in places that don't and places that do. This place literally has its own restaurants and things in, so it's crazy, and it's like, this is going to be good. Now, I don't like wasting money at work because my attitude is I go to work to make money, not spend it. So it will depend on the cost. For instance, if it's going to cost too much, I'd rather just take a lunch with me and then treat myself to a takeaway on a Friday or something. But anyway, so there's that side of things, which I think is great. And there's various shifts, and I was offered, like I was asked what I want, and I said, if you're asking me what I want, I prefer just to start early and finish, just get it done. I don't like sitting around waiting to go to work. So I was going to do a certain shift and then finish half day on a Friday. So Monday to Friday, half day Friday. So they said, if you stay an extra 2 hours, or an hour and something, I think it's 2 hours, each day from Monday to Thursday, you can have Friday off. So I was like, well, that sounds better than the other one. Let's do that. So now my job is Monday to Thursday, and I get every Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Now I think that's pretty cool. So for instance, my nephew recently started a job, and he's working 12-hour shifts. So I'm working 10-hour shifts. He's working 12. He gets 4 on, 4 off. And he was trying to get me a job with him. I'm like, I'm happy to see how this goes, to be totally honest. It's a bigger company. I think this is a great opportunity because even if you've got 4 on, 4 off, first of all, your days are long. You've got a really long day. 12 hours is pushing it. And second of all, those 4 days don't always fall at weekends and things. So it's harder to plan. There'll be days when it works out well, but I think other times when it's just annoying. I like to have structure. So again, when I've been in previous jobs, I've said to people that I love it when there's a cafe, like a restaurant, and wouldn't it be cool if we could just work a couple of hours extra each day, because we tend to do overtime anyway, and we get a Friday or something off. That's what this is offering. And there's overtime as well. And they're going to pay you more as you get trained. This is all like win-win to me. This is great. There's another little perk, and I'm going to show it now. And this is what I want to show. Now, it's going to be a bit different to Americans, because I know you don't. The way America is at the moment, you don't have a lot of rights. And I know it's up to the discretion of the companies as to a holiday entitlement, whether they decide to give holiday. In the UK, it's mandatory. I think throughout Europe, it's mandatory. A minimum amount of holiday. I think when I was looking it up, it was 5.5 times your weekly hours or something. Or something like that. I can't remember. I'm not sure exactly my hours. I have to figure it out. But anyway, I just want to show something I got sent before I even start the job. So I've got an induction on Monday. I've been told we're going to put you through a lot of training. There's going to be all sorts of things. It's going to be very thorough training, so it's not rushed. It's a really exciting position, to be totally honest. And like I say, if the books sell as well, obviously they've got money coming in here, money coming in there. That'd be really nice. And it'd be nice to be excited to go to work. And plus, I get 3 days a week off. So that's nice, because the weekends, I've always felt that when you work Monday to Friday, the weekends go so fast, it just feels like you're working all the time. Having that extra day, I've always felt that. Maybe do a 4-day week, it'd be nice. But you're still working full time, because it's 40 hours. So here it is, the holiday entitlement. And now in the UK, we get bank holidays. And I always get annoyed where some companies, they'll pay you if you work it or double time for working it. But it's almost like they expect you to work it. And I like to, if it's a bank holiday, it's a day off that's assigned as a holiday for the country. I think it should be honoured. Like, some people would obviously rather have the money. I'd rather have the time off. It's beautiful. It's like a little gift. So we get holiday allowance, plus we also get bank holidays. And there's been quite a few added over time. So we've got quite a few days a year off, compulsory really, and our holiday allowance. So I just want to show an example here. This is the company I'll be working for. And this is even better, because some companies, they do make you work over Christmas. It always annoyed me, because at the time I want to spend with my daughter, it's always a battle to get the time off. So I love it when I hear about companies, they shut down over Christmas, because that's fair. That's how people should be treated. This goes the extra mile. So I'll just show the bank holidays, for instance, because just for the Americans, because you probably don't realise the time we get. So New Year's Day is a bank holiday. So these, when I say bank, now so effectively, they're talking about like the thingy. So this year, for instance, 2025, if I decided earlier, they return to work the day after New Year. So they was off over Christmas, and they come back on on Thursday, the 2nd of January. So you get bank holiday, you get the first off. Now April's coming up. You get this will apply to me because I'm starting now. I've got a week off with my daughter I've booked. So yeah, but I don't work Fridays anyway, so this won't apply to me. I don't know if I'll get that in lieu because I don't work it. It's not my day. I don't know how that works if it's already a day off. I don't know how that works. Yeah, I'll need to look into that because I don't work Fridays with the shift I'm doing. But yeah, Monday I'd be off. So Monday the 21st, on Easter Monday, I won't work. So that's nice because I think my holiday was coming up to an end there. So then I get a few days extra. So that means that week I only have to work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Well, that's not bad, is it? Because you've got a long weekend, it includes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then I'm off again Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then it's back again. So 4 days is great. And then in May we get Monday the 5th off. We also get Monday the 26th of May. So 2 Mondays in May we get off. Again, that means I only have to work 3 days those weeks. So 2 weeks I only have to work for 3 days. And then they shut down in August, which I think is great because people always have to fight for holidays over the summer, especially if you've got family. And this way, look, the company actually shuts down. So they shut down between the 4th of August to the 17th of August. So it's shut for like 2 weeks. So that's great. Obviously, I prefer to have holidays not in the summer, but I will need time for my daughter and things. And I've already pre-booked earlier, so maybe I'm going to get 3 weeks off that period. But in general, at least you've not got to fight people for summer holidays. And it's in the best part of the holiday as well, right at the beginning. Into the middle. So that's great, isn't it? So that's the summer shutdown. That does come out your holiday allowance, though. So we do have to, the rule is you've got a certain amount a year like everybody does. But these holidays over Christmas and summer, you need to make sure you have enough spare to cover those days. That's compulsory. So you just got to budget your holidays. Because effectively, apart from these days, you still got spare holiday to book random. So like, for instance, I like to go abroad in the spring. So in theory, I don't know the exact hours available, but I would be able to have either have a holiday in October if I chose to, or a holiday in maybe April, May, and still have these holidays as well. So literally, it's just, but this is what we're used to, I think in America it's just so different. I've always found that barbaric, to be honest. But anyway, so 4th of the 17th of August is off. You have to use holiday allowance. But then even on Monday the 25th, we've got Bank Holiday Monday. So literally a week later. So you'd work the week again. So I would go back on the 18th, of course, which would be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday because it's a bank holiday. So you only go back in for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So yeah, it's working out. I'm obviously hoping it all goes well. Then December, the last day is the 23rd. So that means you're off Christmas Eve. It says it there, Wednesday 24th through to Sunday the 25th. Obviously, you don't work Sunday, so you'd go back on the 6th. So, literally off from Christmas Eve until the 6th of January, and I think that's bloody good too. The amount of battles I have to try and get my daughter home, bank holiday for 4 day shift. I'm not sure what this is, bank holiday for 4 day shift, because I work 4 days. I'm not really sure what that means. Don't know. I have to try and figure some of this out. Yeah, okay. So this is where they explain how many hours you need to save for the holiday. So what they're saying for the summer shutdown, I'm going to be on a 4-day week. So that's saying out of your holiday allowance, you need to save 78 hours for the summer, 2 weeks off. And then for the Christmas period, you need to save 29.25 hours. So that's a total of 107 hours. Now, I'm not sure what the exact hours is. I don't know how many you get. But in all honesty, if I was booking holiday anyway, I would be picking them I'll be picking them periods anyway. So it just means that you haven't got to fight everybody to get the time off. So we do get plenty of holidays, and as you can see, it's all spread out throughout the year. I'm not sure if you're supposed to have one around October or not, but there's nothing else after August. There's nothing until Christmas. So if you want a holiday, you'd have to use your own holiday allowance, of course. But again, if you look at that on top of the other perks, it's working out quite well. But again, you get people that settle for jobs that don't treat you very well, um, and you don't get any of this allowance, and maybe you don't have a canteen, you don't have this, and it's a case of sometimes a case of the opportunities you have. But I also think sometimes you see people, and I get really annoyed. Some people who say, "Oh, everybody should be working," and then there'd be some people who say, "There's no jobs." There's no jobs, and people say there's loads of jobs. Well, it depends where you live. Where I used to live, there was nowhere. Look, I'm warehouse forklift work, and I'm really skilled at it, and I do well at interviews. I do well in the jobs. I'm a fast learner. So where they say they're going to train me, I'm excited about that because I like to challenge myself. In where I come from, in the local area, it's fortunate I drive, but even in my local area where I used to live, there was hardly any work. There just wasn't any work at all. You had to travel out, and the amount of traffic you had to go through to get there. Now, of course, I drive so I can get there, but it wasn't easy. And if you don't drive, it's really, really hard. So I think too many people, they judge others without understanding their lifestyle because they can't help. They just keep their head in where they are. So their limitation is their mindset. They don't look outside to see, like, looking at this opportunity, I'm looking at how great it is because I'm aware that's not everywhere because I've been in many places that don't offer half of this. Like I say, there's jobs that take away your freaking. You don't even offer you the bank holidays. There's jobs where you don't get the Christmas off. It's compulsory you work over Christmas. They don't even let you have the time off. There's a lot of battles to get the summer holidays. Some places. Sometimes it comes down to favoritism. The same people get it all the time. So, with that in mind, the same stands for the people who struggle to find jobs too. Of course, there's some lazy people, but there's some people who, for no fault of their own, they can't find anything or something stable, and it's like, that's where I just think people need to realize that it's not easy for everyone, and there's always an upgrade. So the person who isn't working, hopefully at some point their life will upgrade to the point where they do start earning money, because you start feeling good about yourself when you're self-sufficient. There's something beautiful about it. And maybe the people who have a limited work lifestyle where they're not treated very well, or there's lack of opportunities, maybe they find a job that is better later on. So there's always room for upgrading people, but I think it's really important you don't look down at everybody else and think, I just want to open people's mind to things. That's what it is. I hate people judging people unfairly. Just because you finally have something doesn't mean it doesn't mean other people should naturally have it, because think how hard it is to get there. If I have all this, for instance, let's say you got all these holidays, you've got the cafe there, I only work 4 days a week. It'd be easy for me to turn around to someone who's moaning about always working, going, why do you work 5 days a week? Why don't you just work 4? Just work 4. Just do what I do. You can't, because not everywhere offers it. If someone says, I can't stand this, I always have to sit in this cramped room with my lunch and it's always like horrible. And you go, well, why don't you just go to the cafe? There is no cafe. What do you mean there's no cafe? Do you know what I mean? That's what people do, though. And I'm trying to mirror it to them so they can see how quick they are to judge other people just because their lifestyle allows something. It's not that easy. You don't always have the opportunities, but it's up to us to keep elevating our life. It's not overnight. It's took me a long time to get this opportunity come. This is actually just pure, you could argue pure luck, because I could have ended up somewhere that offers me less and it still fits me. So we don't all get fortunate. But every time you remove yourself from something that's not working, you give yourself an opportunity to find something that does. And that's what I've always said about my journey. I've always said that. Every time I leave, I don't care how it's perceived by people. Every time you leave something that's not working, you allow yourself the opportunity to find something that does. So I don't care if it takes me leaving 10 places that doesn't work out, because it keeps giving me the chance to find the place that does. And when you find somewhere that does, you can make it more long term. But if you keep yourself held prisoner and captive to a circumstance where you're not particularly happy, you're stifled, you feel like a prisoner, it's kind of like we only have ourselves to blame if we're prepared to keep it that way for the rest of our life, No one's saying change it today, like just leave, although I tend to just leave because I'm a bit more chaotic like that. But as long as you keep your options open and you keep moving forward, that's the point. So yeah, I do think people are quick to judge other people, and everybody's at different stages of life. You might be going through trauma. There's issues in your life. I think too many people are just quick to judge, especially if people are not working. It's like, give some compassion to people. Give them room to breathe. Not everybody has to be at the same stage we're at our journey. There's going to be a point in my life where I'm elevated, where I'm doing really well for myself. I've got no doubt about that. But I won't ever forget the struggle and the journey it took me to get there. I won't ever think, oh, everybody else, you should just do what I'm doing. Life's easy now. Come on, what are you doing? It was a whole process to get there, for God's sake. you know, so yeah, I think compassion's really important. I think just understanding people's journey and stop being so harsh on people. Just because your life's hard doesn't mean you've got to make everybody else's life hard. That bothers me. And I always see that insecurity and inadequacy in people. I see it in comments of videos where people always do that. Oh, my tax money pays that. It's like, shut up, you idiot. Shut the hell up. No one needs to hear that shit all the time. It's always in self-defeating victim mentality. What does that serve you? It just validates your misery. I don't want to go too deep in that because I always see it in people and I always think, shut the up, you idiot. Because it is idiotic. It really is. It's like they just want everyone to be miserable because their life is miserable. When my life's miserable, I try to elevate people and just learn from it and show people how I'm learning from it. I don't sit there and go, oh, I'm miserable. Everybody, let's all suffer. What's the point of that shit? How's that going to make us happy? It's like try and elevate your life and inspire people to elevate theirs along the way, but don't freaking beat them to death. Anyway, I was just trying to show a glimpse, really, of things that are going well for me out of nowhere, like literally. And I've always said that anything can change at any moment, and it does.